All right, it's time to get ready for our Unit 5 test. And so for number 1, Justin's skeet shooting. The skeet is shot from a height of 2 meters off the ground and follows a parabolic curve. And so 1, 2, it's going to be something like this. We don't know all the different numbers, but something like that. After 2 seconds, it is now 46 meters in the air, and after 6 seconds, it will be 14 meters in the air. And so to find the equation for the skeet, we have 3 points. It starts at 0, 2. After 2 seconds, it's 46 meters in the air, and after 6 seconds, it's 14 meters in the air. And so we're going to use these 3 points to create the equation in our calculator. So inside stat, we're going to go into edit, and we'll input all the x's, so 0, 2, and 6. And L2 will put all the y's, 2, 46, and 14. We'll go back to stat, and then we're gonna go to calculate and go down to quadratic, and then just press enter all the way through. So it gives us the A, the B, and the C. And so y equals negative 5x squared plus 32x plus 2. And then Justin fires his gun about 1 meter off the ground, and the bullet travels at a rate of 31.5 meters per second. So something like that. We don't know exactly where it's going to hit. It may be over here, maybe over here. We'll find that in the calculator shortly. But for the bullet, it starts 1 meter off the ground, and then it's going 31.5 meters per second. All right, and so we've got our 2 equations, and so now it's time to plug it in the calculator to see where do they actually hit each other. And so inside the y equals, we'll put in the negative 5x squared plus 32x plus 2, and then the 1 plus 31.5x, and we'll graph it. And so there's the skeet, there's the bullet, and so we can see, I think we can see the intersection already, but I'll go ahead and change my window. I don't need negative numbers. I think the max is fine. I don't need negative numbers on this one. For the Y max though, I know the highest number we have is 46, so I'll go a little bit higher than 46. There we go. And so it's gonna hit somewhere real close. So we'll go second trace 5, enter, 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 and there's where it hits right there. Whoops, excellent. All right, so my answer is 0.5, 16.75. And now let's make sure I answer the question. And so formulate the equations, which that's what we did, to find how long it will take for the bullet to hit the skeet and how high off the ground it will be hit. And so that's the time in seconds, and then that's the meters off the ground. And so these are my answers right here. Number 2, we have the height of a baseball meters at time t seconds after it is tossed out a window is modeled by this equation. And so it's starting 15 meters off the ground, so we'll just say there's 15 right here, and it's, there we go. And then a boy shoots the baseball with a paintball gun. The trajectory of the paintball is given by this equation. So it starts 3 meters off the ground, so down here, and it's rising something like that. And we want to find out, first off, will the paintball hit the baseball? And so is there actually an intersection point? If not, the answer is no. But if it does hit, when will it hit and at what height? And so we're going to go into our calculator. Negative 5x squared plus 20x plus 15, and 3x plus 3. I don't need to change my window. I can see it already. And so does it hit? Yes, it does. And where does it hit? Second trace 5, enter, enter, enter. And so, yes. When will it hit? After 4 seconds. And at what height? 15, let's see, meters. All right, number 3, I changed this equation to make sure it fits on the graph. Equation form, it's already in equation form. really know what you would want on there, but on this one it is negative in the front, so it's opening down. For the vertex, we'll do the negative b over 2a, which is going to be negative 4 over 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2, which is going to be positive 2. And then we'll plug in the 2 to figure out what the y value is. And so negative 2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus 2, that's going to be 4, so negative 4 plus 8 minus 2, that's going to be 4 minus 2, which is 2. And so we'll start at 2, 2. And if we want, we can go ahead and graph in the calculator just to make sure we're graphing it correctly. And so negative x squared plus 4x minus 2. Let me change the window back to our normal standard window. And so just to make sure we got 2, 2 correct. Yep, looks good. All right. And so we'll start at 2, 2. So the axis of symmetry is going to be x equals 2. This one's going to have a maximum value of 2. And so from here, we'll go over 1, down 1. There's no stretch or compress. Over 2, down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so for the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, which we can see on this one, it's negative 2. If you want to, you can also see in the equation, if you plugged in 0 into the x's, that's gone, negative 2. The y-intercept is negative 2. For the x-intercepts, I can see it's between 0 and 1, and then 2, 3, between 3 and 4, but I don't know the exact values. And so I could try to factor this, but it's not going to factor, so I'm going to go straight into the quadratic formula. So negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared, which is 16, minus 4 times negative 1 times negative 2, all over 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2. And so I'll go ahead and plug this box in my calculator, that part underneath the square root. And so we'll have 16 minus 4 times negative 1 times negative 2, which gets me 8. And so for 8, I'll come over here to the side and simplify. That's 2 and 4, which is 2 and 2. We've got a pair of 2's. And so I'll come down here, negative 4 plus or minus. We've got a pair of 2's comes on the outside. And then we've got a 2 that stays on the inside over negative 2. And then we'll simplify all these numbers. I'll go ahead and get rid of the negative as well. And so it becomes positive 2 plus or minus 1 square root of 2 over 1. And so I just need 2 plus or minus square root of 2. And we can verify, make sure that makes sense. 2 plus square root of 2 is 3.4. 1, 2, 3. It makes sense to my graph. If I do 2 minus square root of 2, 0.58 between 0 and 1. So it looks like it makes sense to my graph. My domain's always all real numbers. My range goes from negative infinity all the way to my high point of 2. Given these points, what is the equation? So we're going to go back into the stat, and we're going to go into edit. We'll put in all the x's, so negative 4, 2, and 8. And then we have negative 65, negative 17, and negative 185. We'll go back to stat, and we'll calculate the quadratic regression. And there's my a, b, and c. So y equals negative 3x squared plus 2x minus 9. All right, going to the next page. Again, it gives us 3 points and wants the equation. So we'll go back into our stat and go into edit. Enter all our x's, so negative 1, 3, and 8. 47, 91, and 551. Go back to stat, calculate the quad reg. There's my a, b, and c. So y is equal to 9x squared minus 7x plus 31. Find the vertex of the following. So we'll do the negative b over 2a. And so that's going to be negative 8 over 2 times 2, which is 4. That's negative 2. And then we plug in negative 2. So negative 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 16 plus 21. That's going to be negative 8 plus 21, which would be 13. And we could check that in the calculator just to make sure we did it correctly. If I were to plug in that negative 2, 2, negative 2 squared plus 8 times negative 2 plus 21. We got it correct. Find the vertex of the following. So again, we'll do the negative b over 2a. And so that's going to be negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2 again. And then we'll plug it in. So negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8 plus 12. That's going to be negative 4 plus 12, which is going to be 8. All right, and then for the next one, which of the following points are solutions to the equation, or this shouldn't say equation, it should say inequality. Y is less than or equal to negative 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. All right, so we're just going to plug these values in. So for the first one, negative 8 is my y value, is less than or equal to, and we're going to plug in the 2. And so I'll just go ahead and use the calculator, make it a little bit easier. So negative 3, 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 1. And so I'll press enter, we get negative 9. And so is negative 8 less than or equal to negative 9? No, it's not. And so A is not an answer. We'll try B. So negative 7 is less than or equal to. If I plug in 0, that's gone. And I get negative 1. Is negative 7 less than or equal to negative 1? Yes, it is. So that is an answer. But we could have more than one answer because it says which of the following. So let's keep going. Negative 2 is less than or equal to. And so now we'll plug in 1 into the x. So I'll just go ahead and change my 2's to 1's. Negative 2. Is negative 2 less than or equal to negative 2? Well, yes, it is. And then my last one, negative 33 is less than or equal to. We'll plug in negative 3. So again, I'll copy and paste it down. And I'm going to change these 1's to negative 3. So I've got to insert right here. So I don't have to rewrite the whole thing. There we go. Negative 34. And so is negative 33 less than or equal to negative 34? Nope, it's not. All right, graph the inequality. On this one, the y-intercept is negative 3, so we're going to start at negative 3. This one is going down, and so we're going to go over 1, down 1, over 2, down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is a dotted line because there's no equal sign. So I make the dotted parabola. And then we're greater than, which means we're going to shade above. So if I go to a point and go above, we're on the outside, so we're going to shade everything outside the parabola. Graph the inequality again. So I need to find the vertex first. And so negative 4 over negative 2. That's the negative b over 2 times a, which is going to be 2. And then we'll plug in the 2. And so that's going to be negative 2 squared is 4, plus 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1. That's going to be 4 plus 1, which is 5. So I start at 2, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have a negative in the front, so we're going to go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be a solid parabola because it does have the equals. And this one's less than, which means we're going to go below it, which lands inside. So we're going to shade everything inside the parabola. What types of solutions can the system of linear and quadratic equations produce? That's asking how many solutions can it have. And so like we did the other day, if I were to draw a parabola and draw a line, it could intersect at 2 points, it could intersect at 1 point, or it could have no solutions. Given the graph shown right here, how many solutions are there? And so solutions is another word for x-intercepts. And so this one has 2 solutions. And I asked, what is the equation of the parabola? We'll do what we've done before, get 3 points. We have 1, 3. We have 0, 2, and 2, 2. And so we could use the calculator on this one. We could, honestly. It is going over 1 and down 1, so that's normal, no stretch or compress. It's just a negative in front because it's going down. It's being shifted to the right 1, x minus 1, squared, and it's going up 3. So that's the equation in vertex form. If you want to do standard form, you could also use these points and go into stat, edit. We'll put in these numbers 1, 0, and 2, 3, 2, and 2. We'll go back to stat, quadratic. And so using the A, B, and C, it's y equals negative x squared plus 2x plus 2. And so these should be the same, just as in vertex form, as in standard form. And so either one of these are good. All right, next one, solve the following system of equations. And so they're both set in y equals, which is good. So I'm gonna set this box equal to this box right here. And so x squared plus 2x plus 4 is equal to x plus 1. Since I have x squared and x, I wanna set it equal to 0. So we're gonna subtract the x and subtract the 1. And so that becomes x squared plus x plus 3. There isn't anything that multiplies with 3 and adds a 1, so I'm going to come over and do quadratic formula. Negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 squared, which is 1, minus 4 times 1 times 3, all over 2a, which is just 2. You can put this in the calculator or do it in your head. This is 4 times 3, which is 12, so it's 1 minus 12, which is negative 11. And then when you have a negative under the square root, that means you're going to pull out the I. There's the solutions. Number 14, I need to get the y by itself first. So we're going to add the x squared over and add the 4 over. So y equals positive x squared plus 2x and then positive 4. Now on the bottom one, we'll add the 1 over, so x plus 1. And then again, we'll set these boxes equal to each other. X squared plus 2x plus 4 is equal to x plus 1. Again, I've got to get it set equal to 0, so we'll subtract x and subtract 1. And this worked out to be the exact same problem as the previous one. So I don't even have to show work. It's negative 1 plus or minus I square root of 11 over 2. And that completes the review. And so make sure you understand how to do all this. If you need any more practice, let me know. And good luck on this test.